Tom Kennedy and Craig Reynolds better make this team, and Jelani Tavai better be cut.
Did you realize that you are a champion in their eyes?
Hello everyone, my name is Derek. Welcome back to the Gridiron Blitz. In today's video, we are going to recap the preseason Week 2 game with the Detroit Lions at Pittsburgh Steelers. And it was a rough outing for the Detroit Lions as the first team offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers came out and absolutely shredded the Detroit Lions for the first couple of drives. Big Ben threw 2 touchdowns very early in the first quarter, and the Pittsburgh Steelers never looked back. The Detroit Lions did mount a comeback under quarterback David Blau in the second half because Tim Boyle was actually pretty trash. But there was some highlights from this game. The Lions did lose 26-20. Recovering an onside kick after scoring their second touchdown, and could have, maybe with one more timeout, could have come and maybe made a push to try to tie this game up and potentially win. Now, again, it is the preseason. I was very upset. I can't help myself. I got to show my emotion when I watch the Detroit Lions, even if it is a meaningless game when it comes to win and losses. However, this team, you can see a lot of glaring needs that we need, and we'll go over that. One of the things that I saw was the linebacker position. Speaking of the linebacker position, rookie Derrick Barnes was my defensive player of the game. He was phenomenal. 1 sack, a couple of tackles, was everywhere. Derrick Barnes is my defensive player of the game. My offensive player of the game would no doubt be Greg Reynolds. And it was a toss-up. Greg Reynolds, again, for the second week in a row, will be my offensive player of the game, with a tie between David Blau and Tom Kennedy, both of whom I believe with Tom Kennedy and Craig Reynolds should make this team. Everyone knows last week with the standout Craig Reynolds, the story about him getting a workout coming and so on and so forth. Craig Reynolds better make this team. It's going to be tough choosing between him and Jamar Jefferson right now, but he better make this team in some capacity, even if it's on the practice squad. Maybe if somebody gets hurt, we can pull him up. I know a lot of people are not going to want to hear this, and we'll go over the stats in a minute. Jeff Okudah, he was bad today. He got beat on a touchdown or a long pass, and he also did not get called for a pass interference play where he didn't even turn around to look at the ball. Got away with a lot of contact, but Jeff Okudah, to me, he just doesn't have it right now. I know a lot of you guys are going to come at me with that. I don't care. It's my opinion. 3rd overall pick after a less than stellar performance last year. He needs to step it up, okay? And last but and certainly least, Jelani Tavai, the only shot that I see that him making this team is on the special team. However, we don't have a ton of options at linebacker, and that is the problem. So Alex Anzalone is not that deal. So we are in trouble. Middle of the field, again, wide open. The run game at first was wide open. So Detroit Lions fans, the thing I heard during the game was, it's not our first team. These guys are going to be cut. Okay, but we need depth. All right? And we don't get a chance to see our first team. Now, I do have a gripe with Dan Campbell this game. I believe Jared Goff should have played. Okay, we need to see, before we get host San Francisco, we need to see what we have. Okay, we didn't really get a chance to see that last week. But anyway, enough rambling. I could go on for a half hour. You guys remember my videos. So let's go over some stats. Again, the Lions made it competitive and close at the end after trailing tremendously. I want to say it was 14-6 as we went into the half. Detroit had 21 first downs to Pittsburgh's 20. Passing first downs, 10 for Detroit, 17 for Pittsburgh. Rushing first downs, 8 for Detroit and 2 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They didn't really have to run the ball because the middle of the field was getting eaten alive with short, quick passes, so they didn't really have to run that much. First down from penalties. Detroit had a ton of penalties, 2 false starts in a row early in the game, 3 for Detroit and 1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Third down efficiencies, Detroit went 2 for 9. Pittsburgh went 8 for 15. 8 for 15. So in 15 instances when the Detroit Lions were faced with stopping them on the third down, They gave up 8 of them while only netting 2 themselves. Fourth down, Detroit was 2 for 2. Pittsburgh was 1 for 1. One of those was those calls were gutsy, but it's the preseason. You got to see what you're working with. Total plays, 55 for the Lions, 63 for the Steelers. Yards, 288 for the Detroit Lions, 401 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Total drives, 9 for the Lions, 8 for the Steelers. Yards per play, 5.2, 6.4. Passing, 182 yards to 223 yards. Our pass defense is an issue. Remember, I told you that when the season rolls around. Completions, Detroit went 19 for 32. The Steelers went 25 for 35. Yards per pass, 5.5 for the Lions to 9 yards. Almost a first down every time the Steelers pass the ball. No interceptions again for the second week in a row for the Lions. That is a good sign. Tim Boyle should have actually had another interception, but it was dropped. Speaking of interceptions, Derek Barnes, I forgot to mention this earlier, with a interception, pretty much had it at the goal line, dropped it, but he's a rookie. I'll let it slide. Detroit had 1 sack for 5 yards. Pittsburgh had 1 sack for 8 yards. Detroit outrushed the Pittsburgh Steelers 106-78, rushing attempts off 22 rushing attempts to 27 for the Steelers, with 4.8 yards a carry and 2.9 for the Steelers. The funny thing is that 4.8 is pretty much what the Detroit Lions allowed all last season. So we were able to give it back. Red zone attempts. Now this is phenomenal. 3 for 3 in the red zone for the Detroit Lions and 2 for 6 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Penalties killed us. 9 penalties for 76 yards to Pittsburgh, 5 for 24. 0 turnovers at all, so no fumbles or anything like that. And Pittsburgh had the ball for 33 minutes and 16 seconds to the Detroit Lions, 26-44. So just my early thoughts. Derek Barnes is going to be phenomenal. We've got it. Jamie Collins didn't play. Alex Anzalone didn't play. But like I said, the middle of the field is going to be a problem. We got to make sure that we can get some pass rush. We start getting some later in the game, but early in the game, it was a problem. There was no Trey Flowers. There was Austin Bryant. We did see him. We did not see Deshaun Hand. Austin Bryant had a critical face mask in the end zone that would have actually given us probably the ball off of 4th down. Could have changed the tide of this game. So far, still no qualms with Dan Campbell. I mean, yeah, he could have called a timeout at the end, but for what? All you're going to do is try to run it back and potentially get somebody hurt. At halftime, he was very passionate, very irritated. You can see that he was disappointed in his team. And a lot of these guys didn't help their case coming up with cuts coming on Tuesday. We've got to go from 85 to 80. And then a week after that, we're going to go from 80 to 53. A lot of people will be playing for their lives as the Detroit Lions will have their final preseason game next Friday at 7:30. And then cuts will be soon thereafter that. How do you feel about the Lions going into the season? We didn't really get much of a first-team view, and I don't think we're going to get one next week. But stay tuned, and let's see what they got. My name is Derek. This is the Gridiron Blitz. You guys are amazing, and I'll see you in the next video.